Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come and run my mouth and talk about the mess. Baby, I just got back last night. I had every intention of trying to make a video, but remember that girl yesterday drained me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Today drained me.
That flight, it was a great flight. It wasn't bad. Um, the airport, I left on Thursday. Um, it wasn't bad at all. It took longer than usual, of course, due to the government shutdown. Well, I think the government reopened, I think, on Wednesday night, but Thursday. Anyways, it took me about 20 minutes to get through TSA, um, which again wasn't bad, especially in comparison to those who had to wait 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. Um, and then on the way back, I made it through in about 5 minutes, but I have TSA pre-check and clear, so that does make a world of a difference. Thursday, when I flew out, um, I don't think they were making anyone, take their belt off, shoes. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't. From what I was trying to, take notice, but from what I saw, I don't think anyone had to take off belt, shoes. You know, I think like big jackets, coats, yeah. But other than that, I think everybody kind of just had to, could walk through. But yeah, it was good. It was cool. And then the flight was great. Um, Not any turbulence, which is, girl, kudos. And again, on the way back, it took me about 5 minutes to get through TSA. And then, yeah, all in all, it was a good flight. Vegas, Bravo. Oh, I gotta tell y'all a story. I might go live and tell the story. It's nothing too major, but I was happy. Um, but BravoCon, I was talking to someone Sunday, and we were basically saying it's a good, it's a lot, but it's a good a lot, if that makes sense. There's always something to do. Um, those who go all 3 days, all day, girl, I know you have to be exhausted. I only went to the things I wanted to see. So shout out to it being a schedule. Last year I really didn't know until like that Friday night I found out that there was a schedule. But yeah, there's a schedule, so you know what's happening at what time. Of course, there are like 3 and 4 things happening at the same time, so you have to kind of choose what you want to go to. Sometimes like something may start like at 1 o'clock to 1:45. Then something may start at 1:30 to 1:50, and then something may start at 1:35 till 1:55. Something may start at 1 to 1:25. So there's things happening. You may catch the tail end of things or the beginning. Anyways, but yeah, it's a lot. But because I really only wanted to go for Salt Lake City, but I end up being able to get a 3-day pass, I was like, let me just try to make the best out of it. So I went to a couple of things on Friday, and then Saturday I missed all of I missed all of Saturday. Girl, I was wore out. I don't know why I was so tired Saturday. That's how I know I'm getting old. You know what? I need to start working out. I need to start working out again. Um, but because that's just an excuse. Oh, you getting old, girl. We ain't that old. But anyway, Saturday I was wore out. I overslept. And then on top of that, it was nasty outside. So I think that played a factor in it too, because once I woke up, I could have caught the Married to Medicine panel. But once I looked outside and I saw it was raining, girl, I got right back in that bed, girl. Okay, baby. So anyways, yeah, and then Sunday was cool. And then I wish I would have done like I saw some people do, come back on Sunday night. I should have just came back because I was ready to come back home. I was ready to come back home. I was. And Vegas is not one of those places that I just absolutely love anyways. No shade to the people who live in Vegas. But Vegas is not just my... when I go to Vegas, I have to be going for a reason. Like, Vegas is not one of those places I can just go just to go. Like, I can just go to Miami just to go to Miami. Girl. Like, I can go to New York just to go to New York. You know what I'm saying? I can go to DC just to go to DC. But if I go to Vegas, I have to be going for a reason. And once that reason is over, it's time for me to go back home. And so once BravoCon was over for me Sunday, I was like, I'm ready to go. But I was like, I, had the room until the next day. So I was like, let me just stay until Monday. But I really could have came back home Sunday afternoon. Because I love being in my apartment Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the mess. Speaking of BravoCon, America's favorite housewife... she's wanted by the FBI. Okay. I put a little sauce on it. She's not wanted by the FBI, but I mean, I'm sure one day she will. So this is according to TMZ. Porsha Williams flying on FBI's radar, all smiles after flight incident. This was an exclusive reported yesterday. So Porsha Williams is on the radar of the federal authorities after allegedly being involved in an incident on a Delta flight. The incident apparently went down Sunday night on a flight from Las Vegas to Atlanta. In footage obtained by TMZ, Porsha is seen strutting out of the gate in a fur coat and Uggs. And from the looks of it, she doesn't seem fazed at all. The reality star is accompanied by an officer who she appears to speak with shortly after deplaning. A spokesperson for FBI Atlanta tells TMZ FBI Atlanta is aware of an incident on a Delta flight on November the 16th, allegedly involving Porsha Williams and or at least one other person. We are looking to see whether any federal charges may or may not apply. A spokesperson for Delta Airlines tells TMZ 2 customers on the flight were spoken to by a cabin crew, and the flight continued on to Atlanta and landed without issue. Law enforcement met the flight upon arrival at ATL. What exactly happened on Porsha's flight remains unclear. Porsha spent the weekend in Las Vegas at BravoCon with her Real Housewives of Atlanta castmates, taking parts in panels and posing for the cameras. We have reached out to Porsha. So far, no word back. Well, according to People magazine, this was just published today around 10:21 a.m. It says Porsha Williams breaks silence after Delta flight incidents. Says she was verbally assaulted by unhinged passenger. So Williams' lawyer says she's cooperating with law enforcement to whatever extent necessary and remains confident that the passenger will be charged. So Porsha Williams is speaking out after her travel incident following a weekend in Las Vegas for BravoCon. On Sunday, November the 16th, the Real Housewives of Atlanta star 44 was seen exiting a Delta Airlines flight in Las Vegas airport. In the Las Vegas airport, accompanied. Wait. Also, that's not right. On Sunday, November the 16th. Oh, that's right. No, that's not right. Y'all got that wrong, people. On Sunday, November the 16th, the Real Housewives of Atlanta star 44 was seen exiting a Delta Airlines flight in the Las Vegas airport. No. She was exiting because she was arriving back in Atlanta from Las Vegas. Anyways, girl. TMZ reported that the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Atlanta was investigating the incident. Her lawyer, Joe Hibachi, is that how you say it, tells People that Williams exited the aircraft after she was verbally assaulted by an irate and unhinged passenger without provocation. The passenger then proceeded to make false allegations that were in direct conflict with the observations from several eyewitnesses. As with any incident occurring aboard on an aircraft, federal authorities are required to conduct an investigation involving all parties to determine what, if any, offenses occurred. Her lawyer adds that she has every intention of cooperating with law enforcement to whatever extent necessary and remains confident that the passenger will be charged. A spokesperson for FBI Atlanta tells People, I already said that. Anyway, so listen, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. I wasn't there. Let me just say this. And, you know, some of y'all don't watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but y'all need to because it's the best housewife show on Bravo right now. Girl, it's reigning queen for at least the last 2 or 3 seasons. No lie. Girl, no lie. Girl, I'm not even playing. Girl. So yeah. So there was an incident that happened with one of the castmates, Meredith, a white lady, and she was supposedly acting a goddamn fool on the plane with one of her castmates, Brittany. And you know, I do believe to a certain degree that Meredith was cutting up on the plane, um, just because all of her castmates said so, including Mary. And out of all of them, Mary doesn't give me that she's a liar. So once Mary kind of said that Meredith was cutting up and acting a fool, I started to kind of believe it. Again, to what extent, I don't know. They tried, you know, some of the girls made it seem as though Meredith was just acting a complete fucking, like, girl, insane. And so my whole thing is, you know, to bring this story back into the fold, is it's hard for me to believe sometimes, girl. Do I believe that Porsha probably had words with someone on the plane? Yes. Do I think it was that big of a deal? Probably not. I don't know. Do I think that Meredith acted a fool on the plane? Yes. But do I think that Meredith acted a fool to the point that Heather and the other girls were describing? I don't think so. I refuse to believe. It's hard for me to believe. Now I refuse to believe. It's hard for me to believe that in 2025, the girls are cutting up and acting a fool. That's the way that some of the girls say the girls are cutting up and acting a fool. And girl, we don't have no video footage. Where's the footages? Where's that beautiful beam footage at? Okay? We ain't got no footages. Girl, ain't nobody went to jail. Girl, ain't nobody got arrested. You know what I'm saying? I believe that you can have some words on a plane. But I think that once it crosses a certain path, girl, you will be walking out with handcuffs on. And if it gets too bad, depending on how far they're out, girl, they might turn that motherfucker back around. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I don't know. Porsha always involved in some shit. But that's y'all girl. It is what it is. Girl, speaking of, can I say something? I thought everybody on the Real Housewives of Atlanta panel looked a goddamn fool. Let me just show y'all.
Porsha, Phaedra, and
I thought Kelly looked a fucking fool. I thought Drew looked a fool. I thought Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Puff looked a fool. I thought Porsha looked a fool. I thought that Phaedra looked a goddamn fool. Cynthia didn't look bad. Cynthia was giving you just, I'm a 60-year-old woman, girl, and I cover my knees up now. You know what I'm saying? The one who looked the best was Angela, and Angela just had like a little oversized, you know, little sequin, you know, little shimmy, you know, gown, dress, skirt, whatever. It was giving very much, girl, ghetto fabulous. I didn't know what was going on that stage. It was a lot. It was a lot, and it was unnecessary. It was. Believe it or not, I was actually, girl, you know what? I give Porsha a hard time, but you know, for the most part, Porsha usually hit it out the ballpark with her looks. I was disappointed in most of Porsha's looks over the weekend. I thought the purple dress she had on, I didn't like that on her. On her, I didn't like it on her. It looked very cheap to me, even though I think they said it was Mugler or something, but it wasn't giving. Whatever it wasn't giving. It was giving very much, girl, Forever 21-ish. I didn't like the orange dress with those stockings. Those stockings were killing me softly with his words. Yeah, I think the brown dress she had on, I thought was cute, but for the most part, I was kind of disappointed in Porsha because usually Portia's gonna give you a look, but I was like, girl, she must got a new stylist over the weekend because the looks at BravoCon were not given at all. And then Phaedra, of course, just look a mess. Girl, Phaedra want to be Porsha so bad, it is ridiculous. The Balenciaga boots with that. And another thing, girl, let me shut up. I'm not a fashionista. I think I'm starting. You know what it is too. Can I say something? And I know we all got something with a little logo on it. Ain't nothing wrong with a little logo. But I think I'm over the big logos. Like the big Balenciaga everywhere on your jacket. The big Balenciaga everywhere on your boots. Like sometimes it can come across as tacky. But I don't think the girls think it's tacky because it says Balenciaga. I think I'm over the logos being bold and big all over your clothes. If that makes sense. Not necessarily in every instance, because there are a few of the Louis Vuitton pieces that I want. I ain't got no money for it, but if my pockets was deep, girl, some of those Louis Vuitton men pieces, oh, girl, I think are so fab. It's a couple of coats I want. It's more than a couple of coats that I want. I saw this red and I think it was red and brown. And it had like it had the logo, but it has the squares, the new logo. You know what I'm talking about? And I thought it was so fab. The coat is so fab. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on, y'all. All right. So, Stefon Diggs, Cardi B's baby daddy.
I'm a bad little bitch and I'm slick like a Barbie. Hips, lips, ass in a Cardi. I'm a straight motherfucker. Hello, motherfucker.
He has now sued Christopher Blake Griffith. You remember the one who came out? And he recently did an interview with Tasha K. And he said that Stefon basically licked his ear. I love it when you lick. I'm just telling you what he said. I wasn't there. I don't know. I was not there. I don't know. He said that the boy gave him. He thought it was a Skittle or something. I don't know what he said, girl. Girl, he thought it was a Skittle. Girl, taste the rainbow, baby.
I knew the moment that
he said it ended up being, I guess a little piece of drug. And then he said they were on their way, I think, back to Stefon's home. And he said Stefon pulled his piece out and started jacking off in front of him. But he thought he was like, man, I guess it was some bitches and hoes back at the place. And he was like, man, you can't wait till you get back to the house. It was he told some crazy ass story. Again, I wasn't there, so I don't know. And then he said it was walking up to the house and he had his arm wrapped around his neck. And then he said he licked his ear and said, come meet me in the bedroom. Now, I would have went to the bedroom. Okay? I would have went to the bedroom. But Chris said he got the hell up out of Dodge. Okay? Chris said he went to the restroom and was trying to figure out how to get up out of the house. I said, oh, baby, you were supposed to go to the bedroom, baby. Okay, because I would have went. Oh, good. Okay, y'all. Anyways, let's go ahead. Listen. Ooh, wee, baby. Okay. Ooh, wee. All right. All right. So this is according to page6.com. Stefon Diggs sues influencer Christopher Blake Griffith over sexual assault drugging allegations. So Stefon Diggs has filed a libel lawsuit against Christopher Blake Griffith over his claims that the NFL star drugged and sexually assaulted him in 2023. The New England Patriots star claimed in court docs filed on October the 1st and obtained by TMZ that the would-be social media influencer concocted a false story about an alleged incident that went down at Diggs' Rockville, Maryland home in May 2023. In the suit, Diggs claimed he, Griffith, and other influencers went to a club after attending a charity basketball game in Washington, D.C. After the club outing, I'm sorry, girl, I'm too excited. Everyone went back to the wide receiver's home. Per the docs obtained by TMZ, Diggs claimed that he went into his bedroom and his assistants asked Griffith to leave the home. However, 2 years later, Griffith took to social media alleging that Diggs drugged and attempted to sexually assault him and allegedly conspired to have him KILLED'd. In the suit, Diggs claimed that Griffith not only posted the allegations to his nearly 100,000 Instagram followers online, but also tagged UGG, an actress, Sarah Jessica Parker, who posed with the NFL star for the footwear company's campaign. Diggs, 31, is seeking damages and attorney fees. However, the exact amount is undisclosed. Now, I do want to say this too before, because I know somebody's gonna say, "Oh, he's just doing this because he's with Cardi B." Listen, I wasn't there, but I will say that Chris has been talking about this before he got with Cardi B, and there was even, I think, a police report filed because Chris got jumped by some guys. He posted the video. He definitely got his ass whooped. Now, are the guys connected to Stefon Diggs? Supposedly, because one of the guys, I think, is Stefon Diggs, from what Chris said, is like his half brother. So again, I don't think this has anything to do with Cardi B or why these allegations coming out because he's with Cardi B, because this stuff was going on prior, or at least he was screaming about what happened to him prior to him, or at least us knowing publicly that Cardi was with Stefon. In a statement to Page 6, Griffith's attorney, Jake Lebowitz, denied Diggs' fabricated claims. Mr. Griffith is looking forward to showing the world in court that regardless of the fairy tale fabricated by Mr. Diggs' high-priced New York lawyers, he is the victim of Mr. Diggs' unwanted sexual advances and his brother's violent attacks. Not only will we defend these false allegations, but our counterclaims for sexual battery will be filed shortly. I'll even say this. I knew who Stefon Diggs was because I remember seeing him at the Met Gala, I think last year or the year before last. I can't remember. And I just remember thinking he was so cute. And I was like, we'll go to his Instagram page every now and again. And, just looking at his style or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, he had that kind of like y'all see how he dresses, girl. And so I remember out the blue. And then remember he got linked to, what's that heifer name? The Queen of the South. The one who they said was pushing pink cocaine. The one who be getting pissed on. The one who said she's a whore. Y'all know what I'm talking about? She said, I'm a whore. Young Miami, Carisha. And remember he got linked to like Young Miami. But anyways, I remember going back to his Instagram page and he had took down, now he didn't have a lot of photos to begin with. I'll say probably like 30, 40, it wasn't a lot. But I remember, and I may even be stretching it with 40, but I remember Stefon not having a lot of Instagram pictures. And I went back to his page one day to see, just lurking. And I noticed that his page was private and he only had 3 photos. And I was like, he made his page private. I wonder why. And I was like, okay, girl, whatever. And then shortly after, the story broke. And then Chris was basically saying how Stefon supposedly was wearing his jewelry. Was it called Chrome Hearts or Chrome of Hearts? Like, it was a whole big thing. Like I said, I wasn't there, I don't know, but Chris was talking about this. That's all I can say. He was talking about this. The information has been out there. I actually made a video about this when it first broke. Of course, it didn't gain, I'm not a big YouTuber. The people who watched the video, shout out to y'all. And then plus, you know, the fact of the matter is, Stefon at least was not a celebrity. He was an NFL football player, but didn't nobody know who Stefon Diggs was. Not like that on like this grand scale of like celebrity. He probably had some access due to him being an NFL player, but nobody really talked about Stefon Diggs. Nobody definitely didn't know who Chris was. So the story really didn't, you know, would not get a lot of attention anyways. The reason why it's probably bigger than what it is now is because Stefon is with Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Chris came out and did an interview with Tasha K. And Tasha K has, what, over 1 million subscribers. So, you know? So, yeah. Anyways, you know, I'll put the links to these articles in the description box. So if y'all want to read them, y'all can, baby. A part of me feel like Chris not lying, though. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. Again, I don't know. I wasn't there. But a part of me feels like Chris is not lying. A part of me feels like he's not lying. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.